20-year-old Filipino tennis star Alex Eala has sent Melbourne Park crowds into an absolute frenzy. We'll go live to Ollie Haig, who's in Garden Square for us this evening. Ollie.
Let me tell you something. Melbourne Park has seen some incredible moments over the years. But what Eala has been doing lately, that's a different kind of electricity altogether. We're going live to Ollie in Garden Square because there is genuinely a lot to unpack here. Ollie, the number that keeps coming up in every conversation right now is top 40. Top 40 in the entire world. For a 20-year-old from the Philippines, just sit with that for a moment. And Dubai isn't just putting her name in the draw. They're treating her arrival like an event in itself. Now, the Dubai Duty-Free Tennis Championships doesn't mess around when it comes to assembling talent. This year's field? 18 of the top 20 women's players on the planet showed up. Aryna Sabalenka, Elena Rybakina, who walked out of the Australian Open just weeks ago with a Grand Slam title in hand. The absolute cream of women's tennis. And Alex Eala is right there in the bracket with them. Not on the outside looking in. Inside. Competing. Belonging. The reception she's getting in Dubai is, honestly, a little overwhelming to watch, in the best way imaginable. Here's what makes this so hard to wrap your head around. Just 12 months ago, she was ranked 139th in the world. A teenager still trying to carve out her identity on the professional tour. And now she's walking into one of the most prestigious WTA 1000 events on the calendar as a bona fide top 40 player. That's not a small jump. That's not even a big jump. That's a leap that most professional athletes, people who dedicate literally everything to their sport, never make in their entire careers. Today we're going to trace exactly how she got here. But first, drop a comment. Did you see this coming? Because I'll be upfront with you, this is one of the more genuinely surprising rise stories I've had the pleasure of covering. I want to know where you stood on Alex Eala 12 months ago. Alright, let's set the scene properly. Dubai this year is not a soft field with a few marquee names sprinkled in for optics. It is loaded from top to bottom. Sabalenka, the world number one, is there. Rybakina, fresh off Melbourne, is there. When you look at the full draw, it reads like a who's who of everything elite in women's tennis right now. This is not a tournament where Alex gets to be the big name in the room. This is a tournament where she has to show up and prove, again, that she deserves to share a court with the best players alive. And that's exactly what makes her presence there so compelling. The lead-up, to be fair, wasn't flawless. At the Qatar Open in Doha, she ran into Czech qualifier Tereza Valentova in the round of 64 and came away on the wrong end of a 6-1, 7-6 scoreline. Not the warm-up result she was hoping for heading into Dubai. But here's the thing about professional tennis that casual fans sometimes overlook. You are going to lose matches. The question that actually matters is whether the overall trajectory is pointing upward. And when you step back and look at Alex's last 12 months in full, the direction is unmistakable. The numbers, genuinely, are hard to believe. From 139 in the world to the top 40. Nearly 100 ranking spots climbed in a single year. That's the kind of progress that veteran players spend entire careers chasing and never reach. Most professionals who dedicate their lives to this sport, who travel constantly, who sacrifice relationships and stability and comfort, never crack the top 50. Alex did it, then kept moving. And it wasn't built on one magical week. That's the part that matters most. She reached the semi-finals in Auckland. She made the quarterfinals in Manila, her home tournament, with Filipino fans filling the stadium and cheering every single point. And then, just last week, another quarterfinal in Abu Dhabi. Semi-finals, quarterfinals across 3 consecutive events. That is not someone riding a hot streak. That is someone who has figured out how to perform consistently, week after week, against serious competition. And consistency at this level is rarer than most people realize. Plenty of players flash brilliance for a week or two. Very few sustain it across months. After the loss in Doha, Alex went on social media and wrote something that stuck with me. She said she was grateful for everyone who supports her, that her fans motivate her every single day. No excuses. No frustration leaking through. Just gratitude and a forward-looking mindset. That emotional maturity is not something every 20-year-old has, and it is going to serve her enormously as her career deepens. A lot of talented players fall apart mentally after a painful defeat. Alex posted a thank you note to her supporters and started preparing for Dubai. Speaking of Dubai, this tournament is celebrating its 26th edition this year. The women's draw runs February 15th through the 21st. Over 2.5 decades of history, world-class facilities, significant prize money, serious ranking points, and a global audience watching. A deep run here doesn't just feel good, it can functionally reshape the trajectory of a player's career. And Alex gets to make her debut at this tournament at the exact moment her confidence should be at an all-time high. She is not going to Dubai for the experience. She's not going to survive a match or two and call it a growth opportunity. She's going there to compete, to test herself against the best players in the world and make clear that she belongs among them. And based on everything we've seen from her, there is no reason to think she can't make some real noise. Her 2025 schedule alone reads like a highlight reel, and we're barely a quarter of the way through the year. She made her Australian Open main draw debut, one of the 4 Grand Slams, the most prestigious events the sport has to offer. She won the Melbourne Summer Classic exhibition, showing she knows how to close out matches when the pressure is highest. She's racked up multiple semi-final and quarter-final appearances. And now she enters the top 40. If she maintains anything close to this pace through the rest of the season, a top 15 or top 20 ranking is not a fantasy. It's a realistic outcome. That's not me building hype, that's just following the math. But beyond the results, what strikes me about Alex's story is the way people respond to her wherever she goes. Filipino fans around the world have claimed her fully and fiercely as their own. When she plays in Manila, the stadium fills with people who showed up specifically for her. When she plays anywhere else on the globe, Filipino flags appear in the stands, and the cheering section follows her from city to city. That kind of support, that kind of community rallying around one of their own, has to do something to you when you're walking out onto a big court with everything on the line. And Dubai is adding its own warmth to that welcome. She's earning it. Tournament directors want her in their draws because she brings fans, she commands attention, and she delivers genuinely competitive tennis. Dubai assembled one of the deepest fields in recent memory because they take their events seriously. And Alex is in that draw not as a wild card, not as a lucky qualifier, but as a top 40 player who earned every single ranking point. Think about what top 40 actually means for a second. There are thousands of professional women's tennis players on this planet. Thousands of people who wake up before dawn, run themselves into the ground at practice, sacrifice almost everything to compete on tour. If you're ranked top 40, you are genuinely one of the 40 best players in the world. You get direct entry into the biggest tournaments. You compete for life-changing prize money. You are recognized across the sport as a legitimate force. Alex is doing all of this at 20 years old. She's not a seasoned veteran who finally broke through after a decade of grinding. She's at the beginning. Her best tennis almost certainly hasn't shown up yet. So what is the ceiling here? If she's already top 40 at 20, what does 25-year-old Alex Eala look like? Top 10? Top 5? Grand Slam champion? Those aren't ridiculous questions anymore. Those are genuinely real possibilities if she continues developing at this rate. The foundation wasn't built overnight either. She spent 6 years at the Rafa Nadal Academy in Spain. 6 years immersed in a culture built around relentless excellence, shaped by coaches who helped forge one of the greatest players the sport has ever produced. The habits, the work ethic, the competitive instincts, those were drilled into her over the better part of a decade. What we're watching right now is the product of that investment. And don't overlook what she did in 2022, when she became the first Filipino player in history to win a junior Grand Slam singles title, claiming the US Open Girls Championship. That result announced her to the global tennis world. But junior tennis and professional tennis are two completely different animals. The transition from one to the other has ended the careers of plenty of highly touted prospects. Alex didn't just survive that transition, she's thriving through it. The loss to the qualifier in Doha? That's just tennis. On any given day, any player can beat any other player. What matters is what comes next. Alex said thank you to her fans and turned her attention directly to Dubai. That's the mindset of someone who isn't going to stop climbing. The Filipino community in the Middle East is large, and they are passionate. So even in Dubai, she won't be short on support. She walks in as a recognizable name, a player that fans actively seek out on the schedule, a genuine draw in a tournament that's already overflowing with them. The women's draw runs through the 21st, and every win she earns adds ranking points and prize money to her ledger. She's already demonstrated the ability to push deep into draws at this level. The question now is how far she can go this time around. Earlier this year, Alex said her goal for this season is to dream big. And honestly, that's exactly the right way to think about it. The top 40 is a beautiful achievement, but it's not a destination. Why not the top 30? Why not the top 20? Why not a Grand Slam quarterfinal, a WTA title, or something none of us have even started imagining yet? Her results this season already suggest a player competing for trophies, not just filling out draws. Alex Eala has already proven she belongs on this tour. Dubai is simply the next stage where she gets to show what that actually looks like.